My name is Sonali with an N. It's a pretty common name back home, but very confusing for everyone over here because they will always introduce themselves and say, "Nice to meet you, Somali." Wondering why would a couple of Indian parents name their daughter after an African country? And I'm like, yeah, why would they? That's not the name. I have a mom, and she's a cool mom. She's a millennial mom. You know, she's the kind of mom who's on every social media platform. She will download any app. Any. Tinder, she has it. She doesn't know what to do with it. But she has it. A friend of mine saw her, took a screenshot, and asked me, "What is your mom doing here?" I'm like, why are you swiping on women from 18 to 65? Who has a problem? She's a cool mom. She's like our moms, right? Like she clicks selfies, you know, those cute selfies our parents take. That should stop. It really makes me wonder, does she have a front camera or a spy cam? She talks like she thinks people of this generation talk. She took a selfie with my grandmom, messaged me, "Hanging grandmom." My granddad replied, "Kill it." They love each other. My mother found an empty packet of condoms in my bag and asked me, "Sonali, are you having sex?" And I said, "Mom, please, I had sex." She's like, "You've had sex? That means you must have had drugs also." There's no middle ground for Indian moms. Okay, you've had sex, now you're having drugs. I'm like, come on, mom, it's drugs first. Please follow protocol. I am my parents' only child. Any only children over here? One person. Everyone else? Parents busy, huh? Nice. It's cold in Melbourne. I don't know if you guys with siblings can relate to this, but as an only child, I grew up with a lot of attention, you know. At every moment, I had two pairs of eyes just hovering above me, watching every move. As an only child, I knew what a drone felt like before Syrians did. You could do nothing without them knowing. Let me give you some context. When I was a child, a friend of mine, she stole 2,000 rupees, that's a lot of money, from her father's wallet. 2,000 rupees. And nobody caught her because her brother got caught stealing the wallet. I got inspired. I stole money. My father caught me before I could finish counting it. He said, take it, take it, take it, take it. I'll cut it from your dowry. It got really lonely. I'm going to tell you something about my parents because I'm assuming you all don't know them. My parents are workaholics. Okay, they both have their own set of businesses, and ever since I can remember, they have spent every waking hour at the office, just working, working, and working. And as a baby, I thought that's because that's how much they hated each other. Okay, what a dark thought, right, for a girl to have. I said this to my mom, and my mother got really worried that this is what her only baby girl thinks about her parents. So she sat me down and said, Sonali, you need to understand that your father and I are not working all the time because we hate each other. Your father and I are working all the time because we hate you. Loving the relatability, ma'am. But it got really lonely. I remember this one birthday, I went crying to my father. And I said, Daddy, this year for my birthday, I want a brother. I want a brand new brother. And he said, your birthday is tomorrow. I said, go buy him. Go buy him. You and Mama are working all the time. You all don't have the time to give me a brother. Mother got really worried again. She sat me down and said, Sonali, at the end of the day, your father and I are working for who? All of this. Who is it for? It's for you. And I was like, but all of it? And they're like, yes, all of it. So I was like, then stop wasting my time. And get to work. After realizing the monetary benefits of being an only child, I would fuck around with my father. In the sense, I'd walk up to him and I'd go, Daddy, Daddy, who's your favorite child? He's like, sweetie, the one we didn't have. I think he meant it. My mother is extremely supportive of my career, which is this, of both of them. My mother is more supportive than my father, which is why I pray every day that she outlives my father. Because somebody needs to pay for my Uber. But no matter how supportive she is as a parent, it was never easy to straight away tell her that I want to be a comedian. I had to tell her something way bigger and larger for her to digest. And then, so one day I walked up to my mom and I said, Ma, I think I'm a lesbian. And she looks at me and goes, Lesbo. You're a lesbo. You're telling me you like girls. I said, yes, I like girls very much. And she said, that's okay. That's very okay. But I don't think girls like you very much. She is right. But she's also very protective about me, my mother, because I like traveling alone. And back home in India, it's not very cultural for women to travel alone. My mother is always worried about my safety. She's always telling me, Sonali, it's not safe to travel alone out there as a woman. What about other men? And sometimes that happens. Like when I'm traveling alone, I will sometimes catch a man staring at me in a way that's making me uncomfortable. Like, this is fine. y'all don't have an option. But I'll catch a man staring at me in a way that's making me uncomfortable. But when that happens, yeah, I play it cool. Because I do two things. Number one, I just start staring right back at him. I stare. And then I just start digging my nose. And I go right up. And I remove the mucus. I roll it. I look at him and wink. And then I flick it on his face. I'm kidding, guys. I eat it. If after that he's still staring at me, this man is not leching at me. He's falling in love with me. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. My name is Sonali.